I think that we got a lot of new things in, especially on defense. A lot of the odd front started to show up today. Thought we started a little bit slow, like we put in a lot of new offense and a lot of new defense. But I didn't expect that. We reacted very well towards the last half of practice and did some good things. So it was a productive day, but early on we need to expect more of ourselves.
Condition-wise, were you happy with the 2-week layoff? Would the guys come back ready to go? Or?
Yeah, it was great to see their weights. They held their weights for the most part, which was really important for us. That did not take place kind of in our first cycle. We had a lot of kids go home and lose weight. They didn't do that this time, so that was a good step. Today was 20-period practice, and we had some pace stuff in there, and they seemed to handle it well. So I'm sure they had a good time with spring break, which I hope they did, but obviously they did more than just sit and play video games, so that was good.
How did you utilize the 2-week break? You and the staff, just kind of to step back and evaluate.
Well, a lot of coaches got moved into homes, which was nice. There was quite a bit of traveling that took place and a lot of moving boxes around. But for our staff, it was good. We spent a good amount of time really looking and saying, okay, this is 6 practices in. Who are we going to be on offense? Who are we going to be on defense? And understand the ability to put our best players in the best positions that they can be. And that was really what took the adjustment on the defense to put us more into the odd front. And that'll continue as we move forward. We'll still play both, but you'll see a lot more odd front. And the offensive side of the ball, one of the key things for us right now is our ability to throw it and catch it. And we need to be better at it. We're working hard at it. Took some steps forward, I believe, today. But we were happy with the progression of how the kids had handled it mentally. Now the challenge is to continually just run the things that's going to make us a better football team moving forward into 2015. You're utilizing the young men in the program.
Watching film over that 2 weeks off, was there anyone that kind of stood out that you didn't see in the first few times you saw film?
I'd say Ryan's done a really nice job moving around, different positions. He's playing some tailback now. He's playing some H. He's playing tight end. So his ability to show up and be a factor right now in this offense is big. The progression of the offensive line, I would just say those first 5 kids have done a nice job of getting themselves in a position to develop and understanding a new offense that's kind of very foreign to them, if you will, in a lot of different ways. I'm proud of the way those kids have worked together as a group.
With your past couple of years, obviously having Melvin Gordon, before that even Robert Turman, is that their success, is that they're just great guys, or is your offense built for a running back going for 1,500 yards?
Well, they're great players, number one. We've been fortunate to have 5 tremendous backs over the last few years that have been with us, and some very good offensive lines. And we want to be able to run the football. You have no chance to run the football if you don't have good players. That's the number one key. A good offensive line that can be physical and be able to run the ball effectively late in games. So it all starts with the young man, their ability to be able to make plays. But I'm proud of the way that our running backs at this point are competing. They all are. Storm's out there battling, Chris is out there battling, Ryan's out there battling, Haskell's out there battling. I can go on and on and on. Those kids are really fighting for spots, and we need to be more physical at that spot. We've talked about it, and we plan on being as we move through spring.
When it comes down to it, do you want one guy to be ahead of the rest, or are you cool with the committee back there?
Well, I like to have a couple running backs, definitely. And if we could have 3 that we could feel like we could put in the game, that'd be fantastic, because we'd like to run some 2-back sets as we move forward.
How did your conversations with Kyle kind of progress, and do you think that this is kind of the best decision for him going forward?
Kyle?
Kemp.
It was, first of all, it was up front. I think it was very honest and truthful on both sides, and I'm here to support him. And, we just had a discussion in the hallway, and he's got some plans for the future, and I'm looking forward to supporting him if I can, or if I get the opportunity to help him. And he's made the decision, so yes, I support the decision. I think it's a good decision because it's a decision that him and his family want. Anything else?
Was there any I guess major, not concerns, but things that you really want to implement immediately that you maybe saw during those 2-week breaks? That, we got to fix this, we got to fix that sort of thing.
Not really a fixed point, but one major point of emphasis for us is our ability to play with tremendous effort. Well, anytime you're learning, your mind's not thinking as fast as you want it to and as clear as you want it to, which in turn, you don't play as fast as an offensive, defense, or a special team. So that is they're playing with effort, but I want to see more effort out of them. I want to see them the ability to throw and catch we talked about. I want to see the communication on the defensive side as a whole become very clean and crisp, whether it's loud, whether it's quiet, whether it's paced, whether it's slow. Those are points of emphasis. And then I want to see our special teams begin to start with punt today. And we're going to continue to move at a fast pace with special teams and get a lot of young men involved that are going to be playing those positions in the fall.
What went into the decision to have Sanders and Vanderveen move to tight end?
Well, our numbers were not real high at the tight end position, which was part of it, but those two young men were very receptive. They were excited about the opportunity to have a position change and get in there and compete. So anytime you talk about position change, it's one thing as a coaching staff to think that, hey, this is a good spot for the kid, but it's not a good spot if a young man doesn't believe in it and have an idea that, yeah, I'm excited about having that opportunity. And they both were excited about that opportunity, and they're doing a good job of banging away out there. Very different, going from quarterback to sometimes your hand on the ground blocking a defensive end. So, but they're doing a good job, and we'll see how we progress there.
What's kind of the next steps for Thursday and Saturday? You guys were obviously in shorts coming back today. What's kind of the plan for the next two practices?
Thursday we'll be a little bit more physical. We'll stay up for most of that practice, but that'll be a big, hard physical practice for us, and kind of encompass from special teams to offense, defense, to a lot of good periods, and then we will. Not a scrimmage, you only get 3 scrimmages, but on Saturday we will get after it a little bit and use as much of that practice as they legally allow us to use to be able to tackle and be as physical as we can be. So we need to continue down the lines of being very physical, playing football as much as we can, and that's going to entail us to be, cutting, blocking, getting after the quarterback and being very aggressive. We're in that position right now where our offense and defensive special teams will get better if we play real football, which is the physical nature that we have to have in spring. And our kids are handling it well, the tempo of practice, the different style of practices. They're handling it, they're staying up, and they're taking care of each other. So that's a great thing to see.
Going back to Gina's question a couple ago about just how they're learning, do you think a lot of that improvement will come once they really know the playbook inside and out?
Oh yeah, there's no question. There's a comfort zone, taking it from a meeting room or from a coach's mouth or from a grease board out to the football field and dealing with it, and with just 11 kids on the field, the communication is so important.
I mean, thinking too much, kind of.
Yeah, and I don't even know if really thinking too much. It's just, it's processing still. It's like right now we started with teaching simple addition, and then we're moving ourselves to multiplication, but eventually we got to get to trigonometry and we got to roll. And we're in the process of taking those steps, and the kids are fighting like crazy to get better and better at it, and so are the coaches. So we got to teach them right. They got to put in the time on the field, off the field. They got to spend time by themselves on those iPads and make sure they're working to get better, and they will. It's definitely a work in progress, but they have to take ownership in it just as well as we do as coaches.
Coach, I saw Harlow out here. He's still working on technique after the gates are closed. It's raining. It's not the first time I've seen that. Do you like seeing that and what you're seeing from him?
Absolutely. If you want to be great, you have to put in extra time. There's not enough time to sit out here and just take a 20-period practice and an hour meeting yesterday. It's not enough. So I also want to be careful with those type of young men. Sometimes kids like that can overwork themselves and put themselves in harm's way. So communication with the training room, communication with the weight coaches. Extra work is great, but we have to be a little careful.
What does Daryl Sanji bring to you besides just crazy energy out there on the practice field?
He definitely brings that, doesn't he? Daryl's a very talented athlete. He's done some great things. He's made that linebacking group even more competitive. There's a lot of young men in there fighting for spots, and that was really part of the reason for the transition to the odd front, is we felt like we had a group of inside linebackers and outside linebackers who could really run, and we moved a couple of those kids around to outside linebacker. But overall, Daryl is, he does bring great energy, excitement. He has a great love for life. He's got a great story to tell, and he's got to continue to make his book that he's creating worth reading. So the first few chapters are very interesting. I'm excited to see what these next chapters bring as he moves forward. But he's a great young man, and he's a good teammate too for the kids around in this program. You just got to keep on going.
I mean, he didn't play last year. He was suspended. Is that something? Did you guys talk about that when you first got here? Did you say, hey, that was last year, like, let's move on? Or how did you kind of handle that with him?
Well, it wasn't just last year. The fact of the matter is he was suspended, and nobody's going to hide from that. And he's paid a price. He's got himself back in a position to be ready to move forward, and he's got to understand that he's fortunate to have an opportunity. And he's got to wake up every day and realize how fortunate he is to be a student at Oregon State first, let alone being a football player. So I think he understands that. Proud of the way he's progressed again and how he's grown up, but he's got to keep doing it. It's one thing to start. Right now he's in the middle of just starting this whole thing, so it's a long road. We're here to support him and help him, and he's blessed to be where he is, and right now he knows that.